Actually, now we talked about creating a brand. So let me briefly talk about, we're going to briefly talk about the different platforms that we have. As you already heard, there's YouTube, there's Instagram, there's TikTok. How do you decide what platform to go on? So Instagram, and I'm going to just, talk about Instagram right now. Instagram is one of the platforms that's very interactive and can be used very educationally, because Instagram actually allows you to reach the person on the other side very easily through messaging. You have a lot more direct contact with folks on Instagram. It allows you to be able to um, reach out, have a chat. There is a chat property on Instagram. Instagram allows you to place images. So if you like to get pictures, if you have consent for a picture from a patient and you want to teach the world about something you just saw, something educational, you can use an image on Instagram. And I'm going to talk a little bit briefly about what are the differences. There is posting, there is story, there are reels. So we'll learn about that, what they mean. But you can use images. You can also do small video clips, very similar. Actually, Instagram stole it from TikTok, because TikTok was doing so well. Instagram actually used an image, a video platform to be able to do little videos. So that's where you can actually do a video talking. You can do a video of a patient. Again, if you have consent, you can just do so many things. And then both platforms have the similarity of being able to do live video recording. So you can literally, so in an evening over there, I'll sit down and do a live, and people from all over the world can see me and actually comment and ask questions. So I try to do every week. I sit down for half an hour and I say, okay, everybody, what questions do you have? And there are hundreds. And yes, you do the same. It's fun. It's fun. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's it's very interactive. And so things like TikTok and Instagram allows us, I get just, I'm sure like Dr. Narvi here, I get messages all the time from people in, Africa, Asia, Australia, everywhere. And they're always saying, thank you, because, I think one of the things that we have in healthcare is that we use a lot of the language, and sometimes because it becomes so busy, we have so many patients to see, we have so many other duties. You don't have what we had before in medicine where you could sit down and explain everything to a family. Well, on social media, you can. And that's where it's up to us to become educators so that the families can go on and understand what is necrotizing enterocolitis. My doctor says my kid has neck and he's on antibiotics. Why are they on antibiotics? I thought it was inflammatory. Why are they on steroids for bronchopulmonary dysplasia? The doctor said he's starting steroids. What is the DART protocol? Where did it come from? So all these things, we don't have time in our daily world. And that's where, as a social media person, you can use that time to educate. So let's actually go through how we would do that. Let me get to sort of scrolling here. So when you are about to begin your brand, what you have to think about, like I already told you, was think about what is your brand? What is your name? What's something catchy? We already talked about that. The other thing you have to do is now begin to create an avatar. So when you first want to create your Instagram account, and each of you can do that if you want. You can do that physically now. You can do that later. What you want to do is, if you don't have an Instagram account, you'll want to go to, Instagram.com. If you're on a computer, if on your app, you want to download that, and you'll see the first thing you have to sign up. Signing up is very easy. You go in, you put your brand name, you will go into a page that looks very much like this. Okay. Now, when you first start out in the Instagram world, when you first start out, this is all going to be very blank. Okay. You're not going to have a lot of information there because obviously you are just starting out. So what you want to do first, this is the home page. This is the first thing that's going to open up if you're using a computer. So you will come when you are creating your brand, This is what's going to pop up. Okay. You're going to have this information and it's going to be blank. First thing you want to do is you want to create your logo page, your icon, your image. Okay. It could be your picture. When I first started out, I had a little cartoon picture that I still use on my YouTube channels. But I realized that on Instagram, people wanted a photo of you. And when you do that, you want to have a contrasting background. See the contrast between the scrubs and the background. So if you have a black background, you're not going to see that because on the app, it's this small. So you want something that actually brings out your face if you're going to do an image or a logo. Okay. The other thing you'll need to create is a little description. So you need to have a description. When you're scrolling and somebody says, oh, who is this Nikki dog? And they click to find out and they go to this page, you need to tell them, what is it? Why are you there? Who are you? So you want to tell people that you're a baby expert. You are a researcher as well. You are a clinician. You are an educator. You want to tell immediately. You only have 150 characters. So you want to put that so people can very quickly, if you write a whole lot of things and it's too much information, people won't get to know and they'll just scroll to the next person because there's so many people on social media. Okay. If you have a web page, it could be a web page of your hospital, your clinic. It could be your own web page. It could be a web page that gives you a lot of information. You can actually now link it down here. So you see where it says Linktree. So Linktree is actually an app where I can put all my information and all my YouTube videos and everything. So it's very easy for somebody to go click on that and they have all the information right there. But again, you could put a hospital clinic where you might be a director and, or you are in charge of something and you put that so they can go see the hospital if you're interested in that. Okay. When you create your Instagram account, you can do it as an individual person. For those that have Instagram right now, you are probably as an individual, a personal account, or you can do a business account. Okay. It is recommended as an educator to actually access the creator's account. So what you do is you go in there and don't choose the personal account. You use a creative account. Why? The personal account is only for fun, personal, for images and stuff like that. A business account is actually for people who have a business, right? So if you're, again, talking about your hospital or you have a tool or something, then you use your business. But you want to do a creator's account because the creator's account allows you to use all the tools that Instagram has, like music, images. You can download a lot of things that you cannot do on a business. When you're on a business account, it's very limited or you have to pay money. Okay. So creator's account, if you want to educate, or a personal account if you just want to scroll and learn, but you're not going to produce anything. Okay. All right. Now, just very briefly, this is the layout that you have. Down here, these are called highlights. And in highlights, basically, you put in all the categories of information, whatever it is you're choosing. For example, I have a category for humor. So if people want to learn medical humor and just have a little fun, you can click on that. Okay. You have your favorites. I even have one in Spanish. If anybody wants to learn Spanish, I also do education in Spanish. Then I have a Q&A, so questions and answers. People posting me all the time. So one thing I do is about every couple of weeks, I can do 24 hours and I say, ask me any question you want. And people will send me hundreds of questions and I choose some questions and I answer them. No, it's so difficult. You have to choose the best ones, you answer them, and then I put them in the Q&A. Okay. I always feel, yes, no, it's true. I always feel bad. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. No, and that's true. And so this is actually why I do the live as well. I'll actually go live and I'll say, hey, I got hundreds of questions. I only answered, 50. I'm going to go live and answer the rest of the questions. I still don't get to finish the 50 because people are asking me questions. Social media never ends, never ends. And one thing that is great, we love what we do. We love teaching, but the social media people, they don't care that you're tired, that you're post call, that you've already spent 1 hour on them. People want more all the time. So one thing you have to be very clear is know your boundaries. If you set yourself 1 hour, I usually do about an hour and a half social media. The difference between TikTok is TikTok, you post and then you have some comments. In Instagram, you post, you have comments, and then you have messages that you have to answer if you want to stay engaged. So it's a little bit more time consuming. Still fun, time consuming. Okay, very briefly, again, I don't want to take too much time, but this, once you begin to create your post, and we will teach you on this, once you begin to create your post, they will show up in these different categories. The first category is post. A post is essentially just an image or a square format of a video, and it stays there. It is there forever unless you erase it. Okay, that's your post. This is, and then the next tab right next to that is Reels. A Reel is now a video format. So it's a clip that can be a maximum of 1.5 minutes, and it's all videos. Okay, so you can do educational video. So here's, for example, I have an educational video on BPD or neck, or you can have a little fun and have some medical humor as well. And that's okay. You can change it, but it's all videos. Next, you'll have the tab which says saved. One of the algorithms, so Dr. Narvi talked about the algorithm. The algorithm is what does the actual app want to push out to the rest of the world. One of the biggest things, which is different from TikTok, is that in the Instagram world, saves and shares are the biggest pool to be able to give you a push for a better viewage. So before it used to be likes. If people liked your video, that was the best thing. Now nobody cares. Now it's more important if the algorithm Instagram sees that you are saving and that people are saving your post and sharing the post. That's actually what gets you to go higher and higher to get more views. That's exactly, thank you for bringing that point. When you actually save something on your account, Instagram says, that person really likes to see cute babies or little kittens. And suddenly you'll see that the next couple of times, days, you'll be scrolling, there's going to be a lot of kittens because Instagram said that person likes kittens, then we're going to show more kittens. So that's how when you are trying to put out an educational content, as Dr. Narvi said, you want to stay in your lane, because if you're posting kittens one day and then an intubation the next day, and then my trip in Africa the next day, and then it's chaotic and people will not follow you because they only like kittens, and your intubation, I don't care, they'll unfollow if they followed. So you want to have a niche, you want to create an area where you are an expert of, in our case it's the NICU, but you talk about pediatrics, you can talk about skin in pediatrics, you can talk about different areas. So that's really important. Okay, this is really the end of it now. Oh, sorry, one more category here that's really important that Dr. Narvi alluded to is your tags. When somebody tags you, you can actually see who tagged you and on what information. So if Dr. Narvi puts something on Instagram, he can tag my name at the Nikki dot. And so I will see this and I may say, as he mentioned, oh, this is really interesting. And I push it out to my followers. So now my 22,000 followers are looking at his things and saying, oh, this Dr. Narvi is great. NICU musings, I'm going to follow him. This is why it's important to establish a community within Instagram, to go to other places. When you're small, you tag other higher people because they may actually see you and pull you and bring you up. And that's sort of how it works. All right. On the left side, what you're going to see is, and this is all live, so hopefully I don't have any offensive messages, but what you're going to see here on the left is you can search. That's the hashtag that he talked about. If you want to search umbilical hernia, you're going to see everybody who created a hashtag. When you create a post or something that says umbilical hernia, you're going to see all the images with umbilical hernias. Everybody who tagged, everybody who put a hashtag umbilical hernia. Okay. And then again, we talked about reels. Messages, again, is where the community will send you questions, will be very interactive, and you have to try and answer back, because that way they'll say, this person is very active. I can't believe they answered my question. One of the things I get all the time, oh, wow, doctor, I'm in the middle of nowhere and I can't believe you've answered my question. It's a good feeling for the other person to know that somebody who has a very, a huge number of followers is answering your question. And so it brings more happiness. And that's what we're trying to do. Okay. Notifications will tell you if you've gotten likes, comments, how many numbers, how many followers are you getting every day. And then just like TikTok, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go, I was going to show you, but TikTok has their insights. Instagram also has insights telling you how you're growing, how many number of people, per day, and all these things. And they'll actually show you that information on the insights as well. So you can use that to know, okay, if I posted this hour, the people in UK will see this. If I posted this hour, more of the US or, the UAE or, other places around the world. Okay, I think that I'm going to just stop there because otherwise we won't have enough time to talk about the other things. I know we'll talk briefly about TikTok and
yeah. I think I'm going to, well, I should ask permission of my colleague before I modify something. I was going to modify things a little bit just in the interest of time. Yeah, so now we're going to talk about TikTok. TikTok, in case you're unaware, TikTok is the biggest one in terms of viewership right now. How do I just scroll up here? Okay. So right now, I think there's something like 1.5 billion users of TikTok a day, which is on a population level pretty incredible. One of the things that I think people need to understand, and the reason why in this workshop we wanted to show people and get you potentially to sign up for the one that works for you, is that there's different audiences that you're targeting with different formats. So TikTok, for example, I think the vast majority of the people that I am getting responses from and people are liking are parents. They might be people in the healthcare profession. They're not necessarily doctors. There are doctors, but it's a lot of people who might not be in the medical profession. Contrast that with Twitter, which is what I'm going to shave off because I just don't think we have the time. Contrast that with Twitter. But if you're somebody, let's say, this is all I'll say about Twitter. If you want to get on Twitter, it's very easy to sign up. It's the same process for the other ones. With Twitter, it is almost all medical professionals that you're like, if I put something out, generally speaking, the people who follow me are all doctors or RTs, respiratory therapists or nurses. So it's a very professional community. And as a result, you don't get a lot of crazy comments, okay, like rude comments and whatnot. TikTok is a whole other beast, okay? With TikTok, it's fast growing. And in fact, you can see just some, when we talk about data, and I'm going to show you some things. So, I couldn't agree with Prem more. There's my picture. You can set up the same thing when you sign up for TikTok. With TikTok, you can sign up through either Google or Facebook, or you can sign up through your email. And then it gives you immediate data. So I only follow 231 people, but just in time for the conference, because I had in the 500s. Now, just a couple of days ago, I reached 600,000 followers. So there's a lot of people following. And so far, my posts have generated 16.9 million likes. And just like on Instagram, you can put some hashtags if people want to find you. And I have a link to my Twitter. And the reason I have Twitter here, you could say, well, why not Instagram? Why not Facebook? The reason I did Twitter was because those people who are the medical professionals, if they want to see the data, the research behind some of the things I'm talking about, they can go there and they can get that. So how powerful is this? As far as, and I'm going to speak to, there was a comment just a few minutes ago about how do you keep up? Well, I'm going to give you an example of where it's almost impossible. So this I posted 5 days ago. So this has, sorry. So hard to hear, but I'm just showing the Babinski. For reasons that I will never understand, this post took off, like really took off. As of this morning, there's almost 14 million views of this post. So, and you get that data. So if you know, just to speak to the comment earlier, this post has 868,000 likes, but it's got 2,556 comments. So I can tell you right now, I'm not responding to all those comments. And so the problem becomes, how do you, as a social media medical content provider, how do you deal with that? Okay, so the way I deal with it is sometimes what I'll do is I'll put a comment and I'll try to pin the comment to the top that says, I'm very sorry, because there's lots of questions. People put lots and lots and lots of questions, and sometimes they're totally unrelated. You know, they'll say, like just yesterday on Instagram, this woman asked me for help with her recurrent abortions. And I said, I didn't even respond because I thought, how do I even get into that? Right. Strangely, I don't think I ever shared this with you. I got a picture. Actually, it's probably not content appropriate. I got a what we call R-rated, restricted. And no one should have sent me this. A woman sent me some pictures of part of her anatomy, saying that she was concerned about abnormalities. This was a like 28-year-old woman out of Alabama, and I said, "Oh my God, you know, I wasn't expecting that." But what I do is I put a disclaimer on the post like this, where there's just way too many comments. And I just say, I'm very sorry, but due to the thousands of comments, I'm unable to respond. And I've had posts where there's like 16 or 18,000 comments, and you simply cannot keep up. But because some of you are very research oriented or you like data, what I love about Instagram and TikTok is that if you click on the information, the analytics, you know, I can find out, for example, that, you know, oh, I now have 14 million. So 14 million views. This was just updated, just for the conference. It just hit 14 million. It's been shared 27,100 times, which is pretty amazing. I don't know what it is about it. So interesting. It's been total time watched 60,183 hours. That's a lot of hours. Something that's very important, because this tells you about the quality of your content. If you're trying to figure out what your audience is wanting to look at, a very, very good metric is average time watched. Okay, that's right over here. Average time watched is 19.6 seconds. The video itself is 22.43. So if I was to see, for example, on a poorly performing post, right, that the average time watched out of, let's say it's 30 seconds, is 3 seconds. What that's telling me is that it's just, I may have thought it's really interesting, but it's not. Right. And so maybe next time when I'm trying to think about something to post, that topic is not a great topic. So that's an important metric. 51% have watched the full video. And down here, which is where I showed my colleague last night, you can find out, which I think is really interesting, where people are watching from. So for example, on this post alone, 34% came from the US, followed by the United Kingdom. And then my people, my Canadians, were at third. Now, probably from a population standpoint, that's why. This is a bad example because what's happened here is normally you'll have for you, and then you'll have followers. Okay, so what this means is, even though I know some people who follow me would have seen this post, they're so far outnumbered that they don't even show. Okay, so some posts you'll have, like when they're poorly performing, they tend to be your followers are the ones that dominate. And then otherwise it's not your followers, it's the For You page. So the final thing I'll just say about TikTok is you need, the content is different. Like when I post, if Yaya sees me on Twitter, or if any of you follow me on Twitter, you'll see I'm posting generally things that are really medical, really scientific, most of the time. That would not appeal to this group. If I was to post stuff on a randomized trial, people would be like, well, what's a randomized trial? They wouldn't know, right? So, like I say, if I want to post stuff like, oh, here's the Babinski reflex, or here's an interesting newborn rash, or what do you do for jaundice, right? TikTok is amazing for distribution. But if you want to do hard science, that's not the right environment for you. Anything else? Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to turn over for the final piece. We're going to skip Twitter because it's very similar to the others. And we're just going to do quickly. He's going to show you Canva, because if you want to get really involved and make really, like, it's going to sound like we love each other, but and we do like each other. We do like each other. But what I was going to say is we just met for the first time yesterday. His posts are so polished, in terms of quality. And I asked him how, and he gave me a quick lecture on this in preparation for this workshop and taught me all about Canva, which is going to show you now. And it's just a glimpse into Canva. You'll play with it. But if you really want to get involved in doing high, top-notch quality social media posting, the next piece is really important. Oh, yeah. I have very difference, or very big between the numbers of followers on Instagram than on TikTok. Why? You put more information on TikTok, or I don't know why. No, it's your page. Yeah, I think it's, they have 7,000. Yeah, but on TikTok, 600,000.
And it could be the same video.
Yes,
it could be the same video.
Yeah.
So why? Thank you.
I think part of it has to do with momentum. So once you start to, like I said, the biggest, fastest growing format is TikTok. So when you've got 1.5 billion people a day on that platform, if you get, and that's what happened to me. I was just going to say, if you get, early on, I posted one video, and it was of because as I was sharing with Yaya and others, my passion actually was obstetrics. So old habits die hard. Like I post probably half on perinatal stuff and half on neonatology, because I still love obstetrical and maternal fetal medicine and all that stuff. I read about it. So there was a video which I posted early on of birth in an MRI. Somebody had a large scale MRI and they showed what birth actually looks like in an MRI. And I went from like 2,000 followers on TikTok to something like 30,000 in one day. So it's the distribution. And what do you say? Is it inshallah? God willing, right? Yeah, inshallah. So, God willing, on Instagram, I will have a post like that where suddenly things will explode, but it's distribution.
He will. And it also has to do with the audience too. So TikTok is very cute and nice. They like nice, cute things, but nobody wants to go on TikTok to be educated. I feel. I think the education really happens more in Instagram. And that's actually why, it's the opposite effect. I put my videos on TikTok, on Instagram, and, I could get 20,000 views, 25,000 views. I put it on TikTok, I get 400. Because my video is more educational, less exciting, less cutesy, so that's why I think audience is very important. Okay, so for the last part, we're going to just spend 5 minutes, because I want to leave 5 minutes for questions. We're going to talk 5 minutes about Canva and what that is, because if, as Dr. Narvi said, what you can do is create all kinds of videos very easily on Instagram, on TikTok, using their native equipment, their app tools. You can put a green screen, you can do all these fun things. But if you want high quality content, if you want to be able to create images that are very neat and then add things, you really want to use this program Canva. All the influencers, that the professionals, all that, they use this app. It is free, so you can download Canva, you can use Canva for free, and it will get you to a really good place. If you want to use something, if you really want to be a great creator, you'll have to pay a subscription, but you can still use it for free for a lot of the different tools. So as I mentioned, when we first came in, hopefully this is updated, we were going to create, let me see, I think our own post that we were going to put on social media, right? So let's finish that, because actually, hopefully if it worked, you will see, sorry, loading is a little bit slower, but you will see that you guys are beginning to go worldly, okay? I bring this over to Canva. I'm going to briefly show you some of the tools, and we're going to actually create this post ourselves. I want you guys to tell me what you want to add. So here on the left side, we have elements, and in elements, I can actually add any graph, any image I want. So who wants to add a heart? Do you want to add a heart? What do you want to add? Let's put a flag, right? We'll put the, I don't know if the logo will be uploaded on so what we would need to do for that, which you, yes, we have it in the back, right? What we can do actually afterwards is we can actually take a picture of this and upload the image and bring it small and put it in the corner. So I'll do that afterwards, because I don't, in the interest of time, I don't want to do that. So, but we can put, look, we have a little flag there. We can put, let's just say, I'm going to add a heart because I like hearts. We can put all kinds of hearts. And here you can have graphics where it can be a still image, or we can actually create, hearts right here. And we can put it in a corner like here, like so. Okay, so you can create so many things. We can play with that later. One of the things that you have is you have the ability, like I said, to upload. So we will actually, so you can see some images, for example, from my videos. I will upload an X-ray. This actually comes from Wikipedia. Wikipedia has the ability, it has something called Commons. Wikipedia has the ability for you to actually extract the images from Wikipedia that you can use on social media. You just need to give the author its due diligence, but you can do that. You can add some text. So we can add any text that we want on our image. Huh? Yeah. So do we have the hashtag? First world? Oh, here, I'm going to put it in different colors here so you can actually see it. And so WNA? Okay, so we can add any text you want. You can put, actually, you can put the whole title of this. So we'll probably at the end, again, in the interest of time, I'll play with it. I'll make something really nice for everybody that we're going to post. Okay, but what is that? Website is wnaconference.com. Not the hashtag. That's just a website. For the website, yeah, wnaconference.com. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we can put that here if we want to. Okay, so you can put any text you want. You can find an image. So if, let's say, you wanted to educate on the NICU, You can actually, and these are all copyrighted. Okay. So you can actually put an image of a baby. Let's say we want to put this little cute baby. I will erase it. So don't worry. It's not going to go on the conference, on our conference logo. But let's say we wanted to put we had a little baby in our crowd. We can actually edit this image. We go up here to edit. You can remove the background. Check this. This is like magic. I love this. So it'll take a minute, but what it'll do is remove the background of any image you have. Okay. And then you can then put that image anywhere you want on any of your posts. And then you get to play around with it. So I'm hoping that it's taken a minute, but look at that. You see how we remove the background? So now we can make it a little small like this. And look, this baby was actually in our conference with us. Look, he's going to go right here in the back. We'll put him right here. Okay. So again, I will erase this. I'm just going to I'm having a little fun with it, but you can actually put any image you want on your videos. Okay. All right. You also have the ability to do the same thing with videos. Okay. If you're, for example, educating about the podocytes of the kidney, this is a video of the podocytes, and you can put that on your post. You can actually also erase the background of videos. And then there's just a few other tools. You can actually save any of your logos and things like that. I'll just, in the interest of time, I won't use that. But then this is actually ready. This is ready. If we wanted to, we download it and we can create this. But this is a square form. The square form is for a post. If you wanted to do a story, the story is long form. So Canva very smartly allows you to have this button that says resize. So you can actually make this into an Instagram story. And look, like magic, again, we'll fix it in a second. But like magic, the app will actually now create the image in long form. Okay. So now you can put letters on the top here, welcome people, had a great conference, whatever. And then you download that and then you post that. So now you've created a post, you've created a story, and then we could actually add a video of anything. We could take a quick video and post that as a reel. So reel, remember, our videos, posts, they stay forever, and stories only last 24 hours. If I put this as a story, oh, had a great time, thank you everybody, it will only last 24 hours. It will disappear unless you put it on your highlight. Remember those little circles where I said humor? I can add that to the highlight, and that's the only way you can save a story. Otherwise, stories will go away. Okay. I think in the interest of time, we'll stop there. We're available for questions. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free. We'll pass the mic. Anything about social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, podcasting, and anything else.
Podcasting, I don't know much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Photos, we can do that.
We're happy to take pictures if those that want to do this. And again, I will, after the conference, I will be working on this afternoon. We'll post it with a hashtag. Okay. So so we'll find out what the hashtag is. We'll post that with a hashtag. So you guys on your Instagram accounts, your TikTok accounts, if you have that, we're going to post it in each of our accounts. So again, the Nikki Dog, Nikki Musings, you can grab that and then share it to whoever you want. That way, maybe we get something started.
Well, and people will find out. That's the other thing is, sorry. So you might say, well, why should I bother? Well, what's the point? The point is, for one, when you share things like this, people see what you're up to. And, depending on your hospital, depending on your community, people might say, oh, I didn't realize they were going to that conference. Oh, for Yaya, oh, what is that conference? If somebody hadn't heard of it, and then, it generates steam. So it helps the conference. It helps perhaps your image. And, we wouldn't, well, I know you, but I was going to say there have been conferences I've gone to where I know that I've been invited because of social media, because that's how people got to know me. Because how else would they know me in, Middle East or in Europe? So, yeah. Sorry, did you have? Oh, just a photo. Okay. Thank you.